When you go to the bathroom, does it come out smooth? Good skin is a sign that your gut is healthy. Our immune system is the barrier. It's the defense mechanism to fight off bad things, whether it's cancer cells or infections. When people are stressed, or if their gut's stressed, or if they're eating the wrong foods, they get brain fog. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Gut Feeling podcast, where we digest modern medicine with old world wisdom. Today, another topic that you can use immediately to check in with yourself and to know if you're doing well. But before we dive right in, just a quick word. This episode, all our prior episodes are for educational purposes only, and they don't take the place of medical advice from your doctor. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. How do you know if your gut's healthy? When we start having pain, problems, sometimes that may be a little too late, or maybe it could have been caught earlier. And had we known earlier there was an issue, we could have prevented a whole lot of problems. So how do we know? Today we're going to talk about 7 ways that you know if your gut is healthy today. And we don't have to wait until we see something dramatic or terrible, or wait even until we go to the doctor. We can check in with ourselves and know, hey, something's off, or I am doing A-okay. Number 1, what are my bowel movements like? What are my bowel movements like? Now, some things are very obvious. If you're not going to the bathroom regularly, you don't go for a few days, that's pretty obvious that something's off. Or if you're having diarrhea, if you're having loose stools, if you have urgency and you're running to the bathroom and it's watery, okay, that's also pretty obvious. But what about everything in between? Most of us are in between. And how do we know that we're doing well? So when we go to the bathroom, we're going to talk a little bit about potty talk today because it's so important. When you go to the bathroom, does it come out smooth? Does it come out smooth and easy? So it's supposed to be solid. It's not supposed to be liquid. It's not supposed to be a mush. It's supposed to have a form, but the form shouldn't be too hard. So it should be a good form, but not a hard consistency. So soft and formed, and should come out easily. Shouldn't require a lot of straining, a lot of pushing. It should just kind of slide out easily. Not a lot of gas, just easy, smooth, and afterward, you should feel completely empty. So it should feel like everything came out. And if you feel like that, that's a good sign that your gut is healthy. Number 2, sign that your gut is healthy. You have good energy levels. You feel energized. And again, there's a whole lot of space in between feeling terrible and feeling great. So obviously if you're exhausted and you can't function, well, that's pretty obvious. But if you're getting enough sleep, and everything is different for every person. So some people need 7 hours. Most adults don't need more than 7 hours if they're healthy, unless they're going through some stressful time. So on average, if you get 6 hours, you get 7 hours, 8 hours. It's usually not necessary, but great. But if you get 7 hours and you feel tired, could be a sign that your gut's not healthy. Could be that you are not extracting the energy from the food effectively. Because remember, what does the gut do? Gut has many functions. Big part of digestion is breaking down the food to nutrients, nutrients that we can use for our body to create energy, to be vibrant, for all the things that we need. So if we're feeling tired, despite the fact that we're getting enough sleep, or we didn't do anything exerting, and we're not really stressed, could be a sign that our gut is not healthy and we are not metabolizing the food effectively. Number 3, and this is something I see so much, is how is your skin? Good skin is a sign that your gut is healthy. And most of the time when people have skin issues, they go to the dermatologist, the skin doctor. And the dermatologist can prescribe topical creams, maybe even pills to clear up the skin. But what is the source of the skin problem? What is the source of it? It could be from our gut because we have a lot of good bacteria that live inside and outside of our bodies, but mostly in the large intestine and a little bit all over. So if those populations are healthy, robust, in good proportions, then our skin should be clear and shiny and glowing, and we should have a good complexion. But things like acne or dull skin, they can be a sign of something called dysbiosis, meaning that the bugs in the gut are not in a good balanced place. So a number 3 sign that maybe your gut is not healthy is bad skin. And if you have good skin, then you have a reason to believe that your gut looks great inside. It looks good inside, and we should feel reassured. Number 4, very, very important way that we can see if our gut is healthy is if we are not getting sick with colds and flus and other kinds of infections. So the gut holds 70% of our immune system. Our immune system is the barrier, it's the defense mechanism to fight off bad things, whether it's cancer cells or infections. So it is our army, it is our navy, it is our air force to prevent bad things because we're constantly exposed. Many people believe, okay, well, I'm going to stay away from this and I'm going to stay away from that and I'm going to decrease my exposure. However, if we have a healthy immune system, then no matter what we're exposed to, it doesn't have to affect us. It doesn't have to affect us because we're exposed all the time. We have the world is dirty. We have a ton of bugs on our skin. It's in our air. When we're in the plane, it's, we're breathing in other people's breath, microbiome. The air is not circulating well. So it's very common that we're exposed. We're exposed all the time. We can't live in a bubble, but we can have a strong army. And that is our immune system. 70% is in the gut. So if you are seeing a lot of colds, you're getting flus, you're getting any kind of infection, time to check in with the gut and say, hey, is there something in the gut that's preventing my immune system from working at its best? Number 5, how do you know your gut is healthy? Something that maybe we don't think about all the time is how clear is your mind? How clear is your thinking? Many times when people are stressed, or if their gut's stressed, or if they're eating the wrong foods, they get brain fog, or they get lack of focus. Some people can't concentrate. Some kids can't concentrate. And you know what? If their gut is healthy, that could help. And if they are unable to focus, if you're unable to think properly, and it's you know your limit, and I bet your limit is much greater than you think. But you know your capacity. To some degree, you know your capacity, but I bet it's greater. And if you're having a day that all of a sudden you can't focus and things are really like getting missed and you feel like you're not yourself, and that maybe goes on for some time, or maybe it's, every now and then, but been going on for a while, maybe it's time to check in with your gut. Because if you're thinking clearly and your focus is great, then that is a sign that your gut is healthy. Number 6 way to know that your gut is healthy is you are not sensitive to foods. Now I'm gonna preface that because it's super important. Our food quality in general all over the world, but much more in the United States than other countries, is the food quality is very poor. So it's very common for people who may have great gut health to react to foods. However, it's a combination. It's a combination. So number 1, yes, we should always source the best foods and the healthiest foods and the cleanest foods. And that does take research and it does take time and thought, because just default is usually not healthy. However, you're eating something healthy, you research it properly, you've eaten it before and it's fine, and it's bothering you now. That is a sign to check in if your gut is healthy. And I will tell you, one of the things that I do for my patients who are not doing well is I limit the food possibilities different kinds of food that they eat, I restrict it. And as they get better, I open it. So if you think about it, what is the concept with that? There are certain foods that maybe you could always eat, like vegetable broth, or like bone broth, or herbal teas. So no matter how bad someone's gut is, those things can always, in a normal way, not in a hospitalized way, not in a critical care type way. But generally, no matter how bad they're flaring with their colitis or their Crohn's or feeling terrible, they can usually have those foods. However, there are certain foods that can be borderline, meaning they're good if they're good. If the person's doing well, they can eat them. But if they're not doing well, those foods become triggers. So that is a sign that someone's gut may be unhealthy and it's time to check in. So if you're eating a food, never had a problem with it, now all of a sudden you're having a problem with it, it might not be the food. It might be that your gut's not healthy, so you're reacting to it. So yes, you should absolutely cut that food out because you don't want to trigger the process more. However, to find the source of the problem, it may be needed to check in with your gut and find out where the problem really lies. Number 7 way that's also really important to many people is fresh breath. Well, breath can be good or bad for many reasons. The mouth has its own microbiome. And sometimes bad breath can be from the mouth. For example, if there's an infection in the gums, if the microbiome in the mouth is off. However, sometimes it comes deeper. So sometimes it comes from an unhealthy gut, from the bacteria being imbalanced in the gut, creating different types of secretions of gases that don't smell good. So could it be that bad breath is from the gut? Absolutely. Absolutely. So if your breath is good, that is a sign that your gut is healthy. And that rounds up the 7 top ways that you know your gut is healthy. Early signs to check in and make a change. Stay healthy, stay gutsy. You can find this episode, all our other episodes on the website, along with so much more great gut health content at wholegut.com, WHOLEGUT.com.